right, we are going to react and review Thrive by Arianna Huffington. This is a recap by Blinkist, and it is a 16-minute blink. Let's check it out.
Arianna Huffington. Thrive. The third metric to redefining success and creating a life of well-being, wisdom, and wonder. Imagine a typical Monday morning. The phone won't stop ringing. The unread messages in your inbox are piling up. You have a stain all over your shirt because you spilled coffee on yourself on the way to work. What's wrong with this picture? Stress has become a permanent part of our daily lives, and it doesn't just interfere with our peace of mind. It's also driving us to the grave. As scientists continue to connect stress to more and more serious health conditions, it's worth asking, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Right.
In Thrive, the author takes us on a journey to finding success, but not in the traditional sense of the word. She explains why it's so important for us to redefine the term success and add a third metric to our traditional definition, which consists of only money and power. The third metric comprises well-being, wisdom, wonder, and giving. It improves our health, our happiness, and even our productivity. Blink number 1. To live a life of real fulfillment, think beyond the usual metrics of money and power. Blink number 2. Find a daily rhythm to support your well-being. It will help you thrive and also prevent stress-related health risks. Blink number 3. Find wisdom by learning from your own experiences and listening to your intuition.
Just to hit this key point.
Blink number 4.
Hey, now.
Foster.
Chill. That idea that life is a classroom, well, journaling is the way that we take notes of the classroom and life. So the point of education is not enough. You have to turn that education into wisdom. And we do that when we journal, because we can go back and look at what we thought, what we felt, and how we reacted in the moment. And then our growth happens by time passing from that experience and then going back and looking at that experience, who we were and how we were when that experience happened. How did we react? How would we have reacted now that we're looking at it with wisdom? We're judging ourselves. We're coaching ourselves. So the two types of journaling that I recommend is gratitude journaling at the end of the day, or I do it at the beginning of the day, because I know there's something in the day that I'm grateful for. Grateful is going to occur. And that helps me to stay grateful as I'm leading up to it, as I'm experiencing it. But some people, it's the end of the day. What's one thing from the day that you're grateful for? And that helps you to focus your mindset on appreciating what that day offered you and how you utilized the opportunities. And then the other thing that I've started doing is a frustration journal. When we get frustrated, when stress happens, when it's unavoidable, write it down. Or I do it via a video journal. Just get it out. What was so frustrating? Why was I so frustrated? And how did I deal with the frustration? Did I act according to the person that I want to be, the way I want to show up in the world? Or did I just react out of the frustration? So how strong is my filter between the frustration and the person that I want to be? And it's the act of going back and checking those journals and evaluating them and judging ourselves and grading ourselves. In the school of life, we need tests, we need quizzes, pop quiz, hot shot, and you need to grade it. You know, if you have somebody that is a mentor, you can have them help you grade your tests and your quizzes, but you should at least be grading your own work.
A sense of wonder about the world to make your life more joyful.
Yeah, so that point about, man, the wonder and the awe that kids experience, why do we lose that? Why do we give up that perspective? And if you can go back and understand what gave me a sense of wonder and zeal for life as a kid, do I still have that? Are the same things activating that in me now that were back then? Or has all of that been suppressed? Did I fall into the stop being a kid and grow up? Those are just pipe dreams. You have to be real. You need a backup plan. Whatever it is, we all get to these points where the wonder and the awe and the zeal of life gets squashed. It gets diminished. So for a thriving life, a fulfilled life, you have to get to a point of wonder and awe and inspiration and zeal. That is what a fulfilled, thriving life is all about. So personally for me, as a kid, I loved to draw. I always wished that I was really good at it. I wasn't. But just the practice of drawing was therapeutic for me. But I got so frustrated in not being good at it that I let the judgment of that stop me from doing it. I put all my time into things that were more productive, and I stopped doing the thing that I truly enjoyed. And that is something that I'm going back to.
Blink number 5. Give generously to others and bring joy and happiness to your life.
The importance of giving. I read a book by Deepak Chopra, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I was like, hey, he's successful. I want to be successful. What are his 7 spiritual laws of success? And number 2 is the law of giving. It says, today, bring whoever you encounter a gift, a compliment, or a flower. Gratefully receive gifts. Keep wealth circulating by giving and receiving care, affection, appreciation, and love. This was super powerful for me because I always had a mindset of scarcity. So when I got something, it's like, oh, I actually needed it, and I needed to keep it and hold on to it. And I was afraid that I would lose everything that I had. But it's this idea of, oh, I want things to come to me, not to die with me, not to be hoarded. I want to be a open conduit of blessings, and you only do that by saying, hey, this blessed me, I also want to bless you. Like, as I receive, I also give. And the importance of, it's not about how much you have, it's about the attitude of giving. So he's saying, even if it's a compliment, if it's a smile, if it's a flower. So it's not that you have to constantly watch your bank account go down with every interaction you have with another. You just have to always be in a willing state to give what you can to make that other person's moment better than it was before you were in it.
Our rushed, overconnected lives stand in the way of our thriving.
Yeah, I like to keep in mind the idea of moving the needle, pushing the needle forward. So if we have a tachometer for our fulfillment, are we moving the needle forward, or are we pulling back? Even if it's, your gas gauge, is that gas gauge going up? Are you fulfilling your life? Are you with thriving things, or are you depleting that gauge? Are you losing your zeal and will to live? It is a very real thing when you start thinking of every action and every thought, every moment. Is this moving my gauge up? Is it filling me? Is it fulfilling my purpose and my goals, or is it depleting? And that's when you start to realize, oh, being busy doesn't equate to being productive. And sometimes the most productive thing is to do nothing, is to rest, to recover. It's those times of quiet meditation that your brain can actually process all of the things that have come into it. And you can start filing away. This is valuable. This is not. This was a moment. This was a thought that does not serve me. It can go away. That goes in the garbage bin. But I need to file and structure all of these inputs that have come to me. But that only happens with time. Otherwise, you just get buried in information and content.
Prioritize your well-being. It will actually support your professional success, not jeopardize it.
Yeah, the idea of the oxygen mask on a plane, when our life is in jeopardy and others' lives are in jeopardy, are you going to rely on the amount of oxygen that is in your lungs and in your system to get you enough energy and productivity to help your spouse, your children, your siblings, your parents, whoever is on this plane with you, and then everyone else? How much effort do you think you can put out? How productive can you be when you're not taking in the oxygen you need to stay conscious? So it's simple in that analogy that, oh yeah, if I just support myself with the life-giving input that I need of oxygen, I can help my children, I can help my spouse, I can help my parents, I can help my siblings, I can help everybody else on this plane that needs assistance, because I know that I am fulfilled first. I have the energy to give because I'm doing what's needed to replenish it. And this idea of selfless service and selfish service, there's such a difference. To be selfish is self-serving, but to be selfless, you have to be a fulfilled self so that you have enough to give. You have to have a practice of replenishing yourself and staying full so that you can constantly be selfless.
You've just listened to our Blinks to Thrive by Arianna Huffington. The key message in this book is that if we want to thrive, we have to create room for well-being, wisdom, wonder, and giving back. To do that, we have to redefine success and take control of our overconnected, busy lives. Doing this will improve our health, happiness, and even our productivity. So how can you apply the concepts in these blinks to your own life? Find 10 minutes in your daily schedule for a meditation practice. Sit down for 10 minutes every day and try to quiet your thoughts, focusing just on your breathing. Adding this one simple habit to your daily life will help reduce your stress and improve your ability to focus on all manner of tasks.
Yeah, so I just wanted to wrap up with the 10 minutes of daily meditation. Yes, that'd be phenomenal. I'm doing 20 every morning with the 5 a.m. club. I started with 7 minutes. I have a prayer closet, a meditation closet, and I have a big mirror right there that I have to look myself in the mirror. And this is how it started. Just one day I was in a hotel and I just was doing some exercises. I was watching myself in the mirror and I thought, man, it's weird to look myself in the eye. It's so hard to just look myself in the eye. And whatever song I was listening to while I was doing these calisthenics, the song hit me. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look myself in the eye for the entirety of this song. It was so hard. And I got really emotional. I broke down. I was crying because it forced me to really look at myself and love myself and appreciate myself and get out of my mind and get into my heart and really give myself some grace. So that became 7 minutes of heaven or hell in my prayer closet, looking myself in the eye and just giving myself some love and some grace and some care and some understanding and compassion. And 7 minutes in heaven or hell, because sometimes it's hell. Just feel like you're wasting time, but it's the 7 minutes of heaven when you really feel like you've connected with yourself and who you want to be, and you were able to find the things that about yourself that are worth appreciating and loving and celebrating. So, yeah, the thing that popped up early on during this review was just the effects of stress, how detrimental they are. So this article by the American Psychological Association talks about the stress effects on the body and how stress affects all systems of the body, including the musculoskeletal, the respiratory, cardiovascular, endocrine, gastrointestinal, nervous, and reproductive systems. So just being in a state of stress, it brings down the functions of your entire body. And then this reminded me of a story I had just heard yesterday talking about Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, who is believed to have died from stress, specifically from overworking on a project he took the lead over. And I didn't realize this, but he died at the age of 42. The cause of his death has long been attributed to typhoid fever, but was it really that killed him? So this is from historyextra.com. And this one paragraph really struck me. When we going over Prince Albert's medical history, they find he was never, ever a well man. What killed him at the age of only 42 was a slow, inexorable wearing down of his body and his psyche, combined with a long-standing gastric condition. So moving on, it said Albert's health was undoubtedly further and repeatedly compromised by the stresses and strains of an intolerable and largely self-imposed workload. But we must also factor in the demands of his emotionally needy and volatile wife, Victoria. Shots fired. So the big point there is most of his workload was self-imposed, and he was living in constant stress. And ultimately, his body wore down and could not sustain itself. So please, take care of yourself and be well. I'll see you at the next one.